We'll meet again, don't know where, don't know when, but we will meet again one sunny day. Oh, hey, fancy seeing you here. Did you know that the Book of Bill has been released? It's got a lot of secrets in it, so, on account of this tweet, I think I'm going to talk about it. Hello interwebs, I'm Eric and welcome to TheLooneyTurtle. So the past 2 weeks have been one heck of a ride for anybody who's been a longtime fan of Gravity Falls, or even new-time viewers, from coffee stains to hidden websites to the identity and fate of Bill's parents and home dimension, and so much more. So today I wanted to explore exactly what's been going on, but I've had trouble figuring out exactly where to start, because there's so many different bases to cover. Beyond that, we live in the world of content creation, so an honest question that I've left myself with is, what could I cover that nobody else has? And unfortunately, the answer is nothing. So thanks for watching. I'll see all of you in No, I'm not actually going to do that. But I will spend my time trying to explain the ciphers and different ways that we've decoded messages in the hopes that maybe you guys find that useful. Because in light of all of the lore drops that came out with this book, I don't think that a lot of people are really interested in explaining or understanding the ciphers that are at play. And so let's start off with the easy ones. All the way back with the release of Journal 3, as well as a lot of the messages within the show, there was a cipher known as the Caesar cipher, hinted at in the very intro of this show, where you go 3 letters back to decode any message that you need. The second one that might be worth understanding is the A1Z26, which is a cipher that requires you to use numbers to decode a message. So A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, and so on throughout the entire alphabet. So if you have a string of numbers like this, you can decode it simply by assigning a letter to each of the numbers. There's only 26 numbers, so it should be pretty easy. The Atbas cipher does the exact opposite by taking the alphabet and then reversing the alphabet. So A becomes Z, B becomes Y, C becomes Z, and so on all throughout the alphabet to figure out exactly what the message is. In order to decode an Atbash message, you take the letter and you find its position in the alphabet and pick the reverse letter. Simple and easy enough. So a message like this will become this. The next cipher in question is found in Journal 3, and it is presumably Bill Cipher's substitution cipher. This one actually requires 2 steps. First, you take all of the symbols and you decode them into numbers, and then, with the A1Z26 cipher, you take those numbers and decode them into letters. So, a message like this becomes this, and then this. Actually, scratch that. The next one is Bill's substitution cipher. This one is recognized on the wiki as the combined symbol substitution cipher. Bill's symbol substitution cipher is actually a lot simpler. You see, you've got this array of symbols that correlate with letters. Very direct, very easy. It was found in Dipper and Mabel's Guide to Mystery and Nonstop Fun. The next few, I don't have as much information on exactly how they were decoded, but they work in a very similar way to the combined symbol substitution cipher, is what I was originally going to say before I fell headfirst into a rabbit hole that I kind of regret falling into. So the first few were actually relatively easy to figure out. The runes are in the Book of Bill, and they're in alphabetical order, so that gives you an easy cipher to figure out all of the different messages that you can use with the runes. Same goes with the Bros secret code. That's in the Book of Bill. It's in alphabetical order with this adorable picture of the Stan twins as kids. Then the alchemical symbols are actually a font that you can just it's a one-to-one. A is this symbol, B is this symbol, and so on with all of the rest of that one. The Theraprism is actually kind of interesting to find. In one of the last episodes of Gravity Falls, there is a scene where Grunkle Ford has a nightmare, and in that nightmare it flashes a couple of things as well as a zodiac of Bill's cipher, where you can see the Theraprism symbols in a nice little ring. Turns out if you start at 12 o'clock and then go all the way around this cipher, it's in alphabetical order, and so that's how we get the solution for that cipher. I also looked at the ones that are on the middle of this, and it seems like a culmination of all the other ciphers, and I don't think that it's anything more than that. It's just random symbols to fill in the dead space around Bill, but maybe it's a hidden message, maybe it's not, I don't know. The one that I ended up going into a rabbit hole for was the color cipher. So this cipher was solved by somebody on Reddit with this name, because I don't remember them offhandedly. And what they did is called frequency analysis. In the English language, there are certain letters that appear more and more frequently in everyday conversation. And so you can take those letters and apply them to any encoded messages. So if blue is appearing a lot in your code, there's a high likelihood that that stands for E. And the same goes with other letters of the English language. You just find what ones are most frequent, what ones are least frequent, and you basically brute force it until you finally have an answer for what this cipher is trying to say. Luckily, the color cipher is a one-to-one for one letter being one color. And so they were able to figure out all of the messages from there and gave us a nice key. But I, being me, wanted to find out if there was actually a solution, and so I went through the Book of Bill. There's this one page that's got keys, so obviously that's where the cipher is given to you, right? No, that's just a red herring. So maybe it's the color of Mabel's sweaters in the show, but no, those don't make sense either. Yeah. Kind of wasted time trying to figure that out. I don't think that there is a place that we can get the color substitution cipher, but by golly, I'm probably gonna still try to find it one way or another. But with that, let's get back to our regularly scheduled program. The next cipher in question is the Veneer Cipher, and this one requires you to have both the encoded message, the key, and the final message can be decoded from that. And the way you encode a message is probably the best place to start. So in order to encode a message, you take this grid and you find out where the two letters intersect, the letter of your key and the letter of your message. From there, you're given a letter that you can then use as your encoded message. To decode it, it's the reverse. You take the letter that you know, you find out where that intersects with the letters that are relevant to your key, and that will give you the decoded message. And so, while it's kind of difficult to show this in action, this message becomes this. There's also one that looks visually similar to the combined symbol substitution cipher, and it is presumably made by the author of the book. And just like the previous one, it's got letters for every symbol, except for some reason, Q and Z. With all that out of the way, let's talk about coffee. Not the drink, but the rings that everyone seems to be leaving within the pages of this book, because that itself is a hidden code. Now, some YouTubers may not have a full grasp of exactly how this cipher works.
Two coffee stains that actually had Morse code.
So, I'm here to explain exactly what's going on. You see, on the codes page of the Book of Bill, there is a circle of letters. This circle, when applied to the different coffee stains, reveals gaps where the letters are found. In order to put these letters in the correct order, you need to look at the dots that are in these breaks. 1 means this is the first one, 2 means this is the second one, 3 means so on until you get the code decoded. Now, the annoying thing about this particular cipher is that it is strewn about through the entire book and then some. For anyone who owns a copy of the Book of Bill, you have probably heard of thisisnotawebsite.com. On this website, there was a couple of images that were used before the site was officially published, and they contained, you guessed it, coffee stains. So armed with all of the coffee stains, you can piece together what the secret message is. A secret message that I'm going to leave for you guys to solve because I haven't given all of the other codes as well, so I'm not going to spoil this one. Or if you want to completely skip all of that decoding, then you could honestly just go to the wiki to get all of the messages, or you could go to the round table to find out some of the hidden messages that I didn't share in this video, such as the coffee stain. I may joke about them not knowing how to decode it, but they do get a lot of videos out that explain exactly how a lot of this stuff works, so huge props to them and their dedication to explaining all of this stuff. With all that said, I hope that I've armed you with the ability to decode all of the different messages that you can find within the Gravity Falls media, whether it be Journal 3 to the Book of Bill, or even within the show itself. With all of that said, let me know if you guys would like me to talk about more Gravity Falls subjects in the future, and I'll see all of you in the next video.